website, which is full of your book secrets, if you will, about your inspiration, and it seems like your family is a very big inspiration to your books.
Yeah, that's definitely true. My first book, Stink Bomb Mom, I wrote when my daughter Sylvie, who's now 23, was 8, and it was, well, Stink Bomb Mom and then The Year My Parents Ruined My Life were both very much influenced by my daughters and my own experiences. With The Year My Parents Ruined My Life, my experience moving here to Pennsylvania from California. And I think as Sylvie, who, you know, again is now 23, was growing, I think a lot of her life is kind of reflected in the books, especially Sylvie more maybe than the other two, just because I sort of, the books got older as she got older, so I followed along with her life.
Do they like being your inspiration?
I think Sylvie and my second daughter Rosa are both fine with being my inspiration. In The Year My Parents Ruined My Life, because that's an important book to my Pennsylvania life, and so I think about it a lot. And it was an important book to my career. Rosie, the little sister, is kind of the dancing ballerina snowflake princess, which kind of represents what Rosie's like, because she was always the kind of happy-go-lucky kid who didn't really care where she was, and Sylvie was much more of a friend and school-oriented kid who was much more aware of her surroundings and who her friends were and how she fit into the pecking order. And then Ethan, my son, who is now 16, was a little bit like just, you know, the cute little adorable baby who appears in that book too. And, you know, because he was just this darling little guy at that time. And now he's this big hulky brute of a boy. But that's what happens.
That's what happens.
They grow.
Yes. Now, your newest series, First Kids Mystery, starts this October with The Case of the Rock and Roll Dog. What was your inspiration behind that one?
Well, actually, my editor and I were sort of kicking stuff around, and that's typically my books have been just, you know, whatever was born in my own head. But with the First Kids Mysteries, we were really just kind of on the phone and talking about life in the world, and I was interested in, you know, in the White House and in Washington and in politics, I think, and I said it would be fun to set something in Washington. And my first thought was to do something nonfiction, maybe because this is, you know, with this administration, the first time in a while we've had young children in the White House, and so I was focused on that idea. And she said, well, you know, rather than nonfiction, what you've been writing are mysteries. Would you like to do a mystery set in the White House? And I thought, oh, you know, ding, 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 good idea. But I also thought, because my stuff has so much come out of my own head. I mean, I live here in State College, and I have a series of books called the Chickadee Court Mysteries that are set in a town very much like State College. And I thought, you know, those were pretty easy because I live right here, and, you know, I could use what was actually going on. With the First Kids Mystery, I was a little terrified of all the research I felt like I would have to do. But heck, I was a history major in college. I could do research. So I read a whole bunch of books. I mean, that's what I did. I read 8 books about the White House. I mean, you know, and then online, thank God, you know, now in this wonderful day and age, I went online and I looked at whitehouse.com and I took a tour of the White House, and you can get so much information pretty easily. But also the 8 books definitely helped, and I just got a new book about the White House to get more ideas. So I'm not totally comfortable. I also had a friend who happened to work in the White House, so that helped too. But I'm not totally comfortable still with the whole White House thing, but I'm gaining confidence now that I've sent in the manuscript for the second one. I'm learning more and more and gaining more confidence with that as a venue, as a setting.
I see the second one is The Case of the Diamond Dog Collar.
The Case of the Diamond Dog.
Do you know when that one's going to be coming out?
I just sent in the revised manuscript, and I believe they're saying a year from now, so fall 2011.
Nice. Now, in the first book, you include music and lyrics for 2 original songs, Rock and Roll Dog and Read a Book. What made you decide to include companion music with it?
Well, I think a very important part of the book is a music group, you know, a boy band called the Song Boys. And really, as soon as I had the idea of putting a music group in there and started thinking about lyrics, you know, and what the Song Boys would sing about, it just kind of seemed like, well, shoot, you gotta have the actual music. It seemed kind of phony not to. And it was just a natural extension of that. And then, you know, isn't everyone a frustrated, writer of musical comedies. I kind of am, I'm sure I could have been Rodgers and Hammerstein. And so I thought, well, shoot, I could write a song. And I discovered actually writing music is pretty darn hard. So I had help with that. A very talented young man named Charlie Heim wrote the music for both songs, but I wrote the lyrics.
Now, is there going to be more music with each different, more original?
That's an interesting question, because there is a possible song for the second one. I haven't written it yet, but I have thought about writing it, and I think I'm going to, again, my editor and I are going to hash that out over the phone, whether she wants it and whether we've got time to include it.
Now, you write children's books. What is your favorite children's book?
Well, I mean, that's always a really tough question, because there's so many wonderful ones out there, but the one that pops to mind, because I just think it really has set a new standard, the right word. It really, it hit on all cylinders. I mean, it's funny, it's original, it's creative, it's different than anything else, and my gosh, kids actually like it, is Holes. And, I mean, you just kind of can't go wrong.
Yeah.
I think Louis Acker is an absolute genius. And I almost don't think there's anybody out there who can touch him for, I think the Wayside School books and Holes are just totally different from what anybody else is doing, and long may he write.
Well, thank you very much for taking the time to answer my questions. I really appreciate it. Hey, thank you.